What's up, guys? NezReacts here, and welcome back to WedNezDay Weekly, the greatest day of the week. I just want to say thank you guys so much for even clicking on this video. I love you guys so much. Today, we got a couple topics that I want to talk about, and instead of course, making separate videos about it, we're going to do it all in one video because it's WedNezDay. So, before this begins, make sure you like, subscribe, and elbow drop that notification button. I make videos every week. Make sure and tell your friends. First thing we're going to talk about is Randy Orton. So it's alleged that Bob Orton said that Randy's back in training, but yet his doctors are saying to stay home and retire. And to me, I cannot see one of the best ever retire the way he did. There's no way Randy's going to allow himself to retire in the way it happened. Is he really going to retire in the fact that the bloodline injured him? I highly doubt that. Randy Orton is way too good and way too much of a legend to go out that way. And Randy definitely is not going to go out there. He said he wants to stay for another decade. Now, I highly doubt that, but I do believe the Viper is going to come back, so you guys don't have to worry about him deciding to retire. I think he's going to retire on his own terms, maybe against Edge, maybe a like career versus career kind of thing. I just don't see somebody with such a legendary career and one of the greatest, if not the greatest ever to enter the ring, leave the way he had to leave. There's no way. I can't see it happening at all. So don't worry, guys. I'm pretty sure Randy will be back. And I can't wait for it to happen because we definitely miss him on television. So let's see what happens through there. Hopefully Randy will return soon. I just want to make sure that he's okay. I don't want him to return so fast if he's not 100% healthy. So let's pray and hope that he can come back. Maybe he can end it with Riddle. Who knows? I think that was supposed to be the whole thing that was booked before he got hurt. So it would be dope to finally see Randy versus Riddle. Hopefully that's how it goes. So let's just keep in prayers that Randy will return soon. And now we got to discuss another person that could be retiring, which is Bobby Roode. Now, I don't want him to retire, but he is getting pretty old, and I understand if his body cannot take it anymore. I honestly believe Bobby Roode was one of the best NXT champions that we had back when Black and Gold was amazing. He was an amazing heel and one of the best heels at that time. It sucks that he went into the main roster and they didn't know really what to do with him. Of course, Vince didn't know what to do with him. He is a 5-star athlete and yet he was never able to show it. Instead, he would have to stick in the tag team division or win the United States Championship. That really didn't mean anything at the time. And it really does suck because I do want to see Bobby back, but I totally understand if he cannot come back and he's able to retire. I totally get it. Now, not a lot of people watched Bobby Roode before he was in WWE, but my God, I remember him back in the TNA days. Man, yo, the TNA days, Bobby Roode, the heel, the longest world champion, and then Beer Money, the tag team with him and James Storm, was absolutely amazing. I wish, Bobby would have got that type of stuff back in NXT. And, the way it happened and go to the main roster the way he did in TNA and put on absolute bangers. You hated him so much. That's what made him such a great heel. So I understand if his time in the ring is over. I get it. His body can't take any more pain. So in that way, I want to say thank you to Bobby Roode for giving us so many great moments back in TNA and back in WWE. Hopefully he'll be back, but most likely he'll be retired, and I totally understand. Next, we gotta talk about a guy that I really don't want to talk about, but sadly we have to, and I really don't. Vince McMahon is back in the news again. My lord, here we go with Vince. So it has been reported that there's actually people in the WWE in the back that are actually happy that Vince is back. Now, I don't know why, people think that or why people are happy about that, because all we know is just going to be terrible booking from now on when he's still in the back. And I know one of them for sure is that nasty slob Bruce Pritchard. I can care less about him, and I feel bad that Triple H didn't get so much time by himself, because now Vince is back, and some people are actually happy about it because they love Vince's booking for some reason. Maybe even Roman Reigns. Now, I highly doubt Roman Reigns is one of the guys that are actually happy that Vince is back, but who knows, he could be at the same time, because the way the bloodline came together and the way the bloodline was booked. So it would make sense for him to like the fact that Vince is back, but I highly doubt it, because I just don't see it happening. But I do know one person that definitely is happy that Vince is back, which is Brock, because he's so happy that his daddy's able to book him again. It's just ridiculous. But I just don't understand, how can there be people that actually care about this man and what he does for the company? He is a cancer to the locker room. Should be no reason that he should even be here. I spoke about this so many times. The man should be in jail. But of course, money rules the world, and it fucking sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. Next thing we gotta talk about, Ronda Rousey making her return in the most botched way possible. It's just ridiculous. It was a terrible botch, but her and Shayna Baszler are make sure that, that they're coming for the tag titles, which I have an issue with only because of one thing. I do not care about the women's tag team championships. They are the most useless titles in WWE. I don't care what anybody says. It's ridiculous. If it was up to me, I would want them to give me them, and I would burn them in my backyard and laugh while I do it. It is the most useless titles. And to even make it worse, not only is the women's tag team champions there, but also the women's tag team champions for NXT were drafted on Raw. So that means we have two ridiculously unused titles that nobody cares about. So since we're never going to get rid of it for some odd reason, here's what I would suggest. I say have whoever's the women's tag team champions and whoever's the NXT women's tag team champions collide and unify the titles. That's just how I see it. And then just give it to Ronda and Shayna to rule the division. That is not even a real division. There's no real tag teams in the division, but you know what I mean. Just give it to Ronda and Shayna so we can just be over this. Another thing that I find to be useless is Rhea Ripley being on Raw as SmackDown Women's Champion, having a feud with bum-ass Natalya. Meanwhile, Bianca, the Raw Women's Champion, is on SmackDown. Tell me, does that make any sense to you guys? And people are thinking maybe they should just swap the titles. And of course, because that worked out so well the first time they did it. They really didn't. I'm being sarcastic. It's stupid. And it's so boring. I say, once again, unify the titles with a banger with Rhea Ripley versus Bianca. Winner has both titles and they unify them. Because let's be honest, the WWE's women's division is shit. SmackDown has no good competition for Bianca when she becomes SmackDown Women's Champion. And there's no real big competition for Raw for Rhea Ripley. So I just say, make one big division so we can have fresh new matches every time, and it would make the women's division better because now you have a whole bunch of women instead of one woman on each brand. That's what I would do. Just unify the titles because it makes no sense to have two champions. And the last thing we're going to talk about is AEW Fight Forever. I have been waiting for this game for so long. I just need to know when the release date is. That's all I want to know. Maybe we can get it during his Tony Khan's announcement with Collision, but I just want the game. It's been forever. Like, I want to play as like MJF and just like go through the roster. And I know people don't really like the graphics. I understand, but I like the arcade look. And you can do a whole bunch of stuff. So if I can use a fire extinguisher and start hitting people with it, and it'll just be a fun time. And that's just what I feel. Plus, it just would be dope to have another wrestling game that I could switch between WWE 2K23, and when I'm bored, I can go into Fight Forever. What do you guys think? Are you guys even ready for this game? How long do you guys think we're going to have to wait for an actual release date? And what do you think about the other topics that I talked about? Are you guys happy with Vince there? Are you happy with what I decided to book with the women's division? Let me know in the comments, especially the Randy Orton being retired. Make sure you let me know in the comments section. I appreciate you guys for even clicking on this video, and I love you guys.